All right, see about this alert. We on our page, of course.
Okay, I'm about to check it
All
out.
right, just got the alert, so we good to go on that. All right.
Okay, yep, I see it. Yeah, look, my glasses
Shalom,
right.
shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the Akim teaching about the mind why I'm out. That's the sincerity and truth. It's the brother Yatazak, and I got the brother Atazawam here with me. And through the Spirit, the Lord allowed us another opportunity to get together and continue the series in the book of Acts. We have now reached chapter 22. Going into a very heavy book as you continue to see. It gets heavier and heavier each chapter. So we just go jump into 22. It's not really a long chapter. It's basically Paul giving a testimony on his conversion to the
Okay.
truth. You know what I'm saying? From being a Pharisee and a master of the law and punishing those who did not abide by the law to his conversion of understanding the law and have a thorough understanding of the law, but also understanding the mercy, grace, and the weightier matters of the law. You see, if you want to get that, the weightier matters of the law, if you just put in weightier, it'll come in.
Yep.
But yeah, Paul was he was a master at the law, and then he became a master of the spirit of the law, right? Mercy, judgment, grace,
Yep.
all these things that we need to understand to judge accordingly. You know, when Solomon said split the baby in half, he didn't have no intention of splitting the baby in half. He was testing their integrity through his judgment. You
Yep.
see, and that's what led him to believe. That's what led him to believe that would go, that would fly, and it did. You know, you got it.
Yep. This is Matthew 23 and 23, and it says the same. Oh, that's 22. Salaki. Matthew 23 and 23. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye pay tithes of mint and annas and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law: judgment, mercy, and faith.
You see,
Those,
judgment, mercy, and faith. Paul wasn't complete until he understood those along with his expertise in the law, which is the totality of Yahweh Shai, which is why we're doing what we're doing, man, to be conformed into the image of Yahweh's son, Yahweh Shai. You see? And Paul's conversion, when you go back to Acts chapter 9, Paul's conversion in that chapter, he told that story. He told that story. He told it to the congregation, and he also told it to when he was on trial in front of the Romans. You see, but the weightier matters of the law. See, Paul was just killing people going by the letter of the law. Okay, well, if the scripture said you gotta die, if the scripture said you gotta die because you did this, then I guess I got to kill you. You see, but then once you understood mercy and grace and faith, and you understand how different things happen, it's a case by case thing. See, the law, statutes, and commandments is a guideline. You see, but then when you and couple the spirit along with it, then you get Yahweh Shai. When Yahweh Shai was asking those questions, because see, the wicked scribes and Pharisees was going by the letter of the law, and the Lord would ask them questions. Okay, well, if your ox fall in a ditch, if you got one ox and they fall in a ditch, are you gonna leave it, or are you gonna get it out of the ditch? Now, according to the law, you got to leave it. But according to the spirit of the situation, if that's your only ox and that's your livelihood, and you come back the next day and it's gone, now you screwed. You see? So that's the understanding of the law, the understanding of the law, and the understanding of the spirit has to be combined. You see? That's why you got groups out there that want to stone people for eating turkey sandwiches and all kind of madness like that. You see? They want to use the Bible when it suits them, But when it doesn't suit them, they have all these excuses and all that type of stuff. Paul, all of that was eliminated when Paul had his understanding of the law coupled with the understanding of the spirit.
Right.
You see, and that's why Paul's ministry grew the way it did, man, because it was an extension of Yahushua and the disciples.
Yep.
You got it.
God, I got real quick something Matati just put up. GMS Feed the Flock. Shalom. This is John 1:17. For the law was given by Moses, but grace and truth came by Yahushua HaMashiach. That's perfect. You see, it was everything what the elders just broke out. The brothers just posted the scriptures for it, man. That mercy seat, you gotta remember, Yahushua was that mercy seat going back into the Ark of the Covenant. Okay, that mercy is what the Lord had bestowed upon the nation of Israel because we couldn't keep the whole law. You know, we would have been effed up. You know what I'm saying? If Yahushua didn't implement the mercy into this thing, man, which was already set up for him to do that. You know what I'm saying? And Paul being perfect in the law, Yahweh Shemal Shah, he slept with him directly. So he had the whole balance of the understanding. You see, as far as the other Sadducees and the Pharisees and those who were coming up against it, you know, you got it.
That's right. You can go ahead and we can go ahead and jump into the chapter. As a matter of fact, you know what? Matter of fact, I know what I'm gonna get the commentary. That's what I meant to do.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the commentary before you jump into the chapter.
Okay. Let me see.
All right. This is Paul's reply to the crowd. This is jumping into Acts 22. Because you remember in Acts 21, he was on trial. You know what I'm saying? Because the Jews were saying the same things about him that they were saying about the Lord. That he blaspheming, he changing up the doctrine, he spreading his doctrine through the church. You know, he gonna get us all killed, right? Gonna get all the shot, brother. Oh man. It says by his command of the situation, Paul showed much physical courage and mental alertness. One minute he was snatched from a violent death. The next he was able to address a mob of wildly excited Jews who were screaming for his blood. He spoke with such power that a rioting crowd of would-be murderers listened to him in silence. Because you remember he spoke to them in Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? It said that he spoke to him in Hebrew, and once he started to speak in Hebrew, he commanded their attention, and they chilled and they listened to him. Right? It says Paul wanted to show that he was a zealous Jew, called by the Most High to serve him. He told of his Jewish upbringing. Right? He grew up as a Jew of the tribe of Benjamin. He said that out of his own mouth. He told of his background and education, and of his religious zeal in persecuting those who he thought to be lawbreakers. Right? It says, but then the risen Yahushua intervened, and he became a believer. Through the announcement of a respected and law-abiding Jew named Ananias, he learned of the Most High's purpose for him to take the gospel to the people everywhere. Right? Amongst all the places where the Israelites were scattered, according to the promise, according to the curses in Deuteronomy.
Yep.
Right? It says, above all, he wanted his own people, the Jews, to hear the gospel, and only when they rejected it did the Most High send him to preach it to the Gentiles. As soon as Paul mentioned his mission to the Gentiles, uproar broke out afresh. All Paul's speech and all the crowds shouting were in Aramaic, which the Roman commander probably could not understand. So he decided there was only one way to find out the truth, and that was by flogging. Right? There was so much confusion going on. He was just gonna beat Paul just to get everybody to shut up. You know what I'm saying? It says when Paul told the soldiers that he was a Roman citizen, they quickly untied him. They knew how close they themselves had come to becoming lawbreakers. All right. It says still wanting to find out the story behind this remarkable man, Lysias called the Jewish Sanhedrin to examine Paul. Paul soon saw, however, that the Sanhedrin was already against him, and he was not likely to get justice.
Yeah. And real quick, the Sanhedrin, just in case brothers don't know who the Sanhedrin was, those were basically the Levites. Okay, those are the high priests who were taking on getting things done in the Romans and for the Romans, basically, because we have our own laws set up in the Sanhedrin. They have what they're trying to do to Paul now. They have a council put upon them so they can implement the law. But see, their whole purpose was the betterment of the Roman Empire. Those same people were the ones that in John 11 chapter, where they said, what do we, this man does many miracles. If we leave him alone, the whole everyone will believe in him. The Sanhedrin was those people. Those were the Sadducees who wanted to stay and deal with the Roman society. You know, so those are the ones who were really against Paul. And when we go into this chapter, which is real dope on what Paul actually did with the Pharisees and the Sadducees, but we'll read it a little bit later.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. It says, Paul therefore changed his tactics. Mm-hmm. The one who had spoken to the Roman commander in Greek addressed the mob in Aramaic, announced himself as God's apostle to the Gentiles, and claimed to be a Roman citizen, now called himself a Jewish Pharisee. But that's what I'm saying. Paul was all those things.
Yep.
He was all those things, man. You see?
Yep.
And that's what I'm saying. It was his knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the spirit of the situation and the people that he was dealing with, to where he was doing what he was doing. Because the scriptures say that man's goings are of the Lord.
Yep.
So Paul had to use all those different titles and all those different advantages to stay alive, to preach the gospel.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He was all those things within an hour.
Yep. Hey, well, when we go into it, when he had told him that he was a Roman, and that it was a law back at that time where you couldn't just beat a Roman because he was a free man. You see? And Paul was a free man, so that's why he said, you're gonna that's why Paul told her, hey, I'm a Roman. That's why they were afraid, because there was certain laws restricted on doing certain things to the Romans and free men. So he played his card using wisdom.
It says he was being condemned because of his Orthodox Pharisaic belief in the resurrection. Mm-hmm. The immediate result of Paul's declaration was that the Sanhedrin split in two: Pharisees against Sadducees. Some Pharisees thought Paul was not such a bad person after all, much the same as another Pharisee had said of Peter and John in similar fashion. Sanhedrin dispute more than 20 years earlier, right? Oh, let me read that again. It says some Pharisees thought Paul was not such a bad person after all, much the same as another Pharisee had said the same of Peter and John in a similar Sanhedrin dispute more than 20 years earlier. You know what I'm saying? When they were talking about the boldness of Peter and John, that's what that's referring to. Right? It says, in the uproar that followed, the Roman soldiers again saved Paul from possible death. The Lord was still with Paul and eventually would bring him to Rome. Right? It says, still wanting to find out the story. Okay, I already read that. So we good on that. Now we can go ahead and jump into the chapter. Because what you see during this chapter is Paul is on trial for his life. So he doing whatever he got to do. You see what I'm saying? We gonna be in that same situation. Now keep in mind. Matter of fact, before we get that, let's get that the Lord directed his steps. What's that? Job 33 and 16, Job 33 and 15. Yeah, let's read that. Let's read that real quick. Because keep in mind, everything that you finna see Paul do, the Lord is directing it. You see? Because the Lord got Paul for what he got Paul for. Forget how mad everybody is and the circumstances and all that, right? So the Lord has intervened in this situation, and you're gonna see. So when you read this, have this in your mind that this could happen to you. Put yourself in Paul's shoes, right? See how the Lord worked with Paul to get him out of these situations, and know that he'll do the same thing for you if you show that same fervor that Paul showed, man.
Yep.
You see, this was written aforetime for our learning, right? Go ahead.
This is Job 33 and 15. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, and slumberings upon the bed, then he opened the ears of men, and sealeth their instruction.
You see? No. So Paul's instructions were sealed. What he was going, how the Lord say, "I put my words in your mouth. Don't worry about what you're gonna say."
Yep.
The Lord, I would say, the Lord is pretty much controlled. He got the PlayStation controller, and he's controlling Paul. You see, for the Lord's outcome. You see, which in turn boosts Paul's faith, because Paul believes. You see, and he believes so fervently that he's fighting for his life, and the Lord gave him the tools to fight. Man, he used every tool in his bag.
Yep, that's right.
You got it.
Yep, real quick. This is Luke 12:11. And when they bring you into the synagogues and into the magistrates and powers, take ye no thought how or what thing ye shall answer, or what ye shall say. For the Holy Spirit shall teach you in the same hour what ye ought to say.
And that's what I'm saying, man. That's what happened with Paul. That's what happened with Paul, man. He was able to talk his way out of that situation because the Lord put the words in his mouth. You see? And what I'm saying, he didn't say, "God, I don't hate God people. We don't hate white people. God hates white people." You see? He said what it was. You see? And that ain't no different. And the Lord was in control when Peter denied the Lord those 3 times. Because if he wouldn't have denied the Lord those 3 times, he would have got killed right there on the spot. And here we are without a head of the church. Exactly. So when the Lord says that his ways and thoughts are above ours, we start to see how that plays out.
That's right.
You know? Yep. You got something?
Yeah, I got real quick. I'm just reading off of what on the comment board, Proverbs 16:1, beautiful scripture. The preparations of the heart in man, and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord Yahweh. See? It's plain. That's bad. See? So that's why we say we're not speaking our own thing, we're speaking what the Lord say, man. The Lord downloads what we need to say, and it comes forth out of our mouths, man. This is why we're justified when we speak. Proverbs 16:9. A man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord Yahweh directs his steps.
Ooh, man, look.
That's it. Right.
Yep.
Job 32:8. But there is a spirit in man, and the inspiration of the Almighty giveth them understanding.
That's what I'm saying, man. So and that understanding comes in all shapes, sizes, and situations, man. You see, yep. Paul had the understanding on how to get out of that. You see, it was like his own people wasn't trying to hurt him. You see, right. His own people wasn't trying to hurt him, and they was turning him over to the heathen. You see, so he spoke Greek. I would say each language that he was capable of speaking, he spoke it.
Yep.
You see. When he was meek, when he needed to be meek, he needed to be meek. When he needed to speak boldly, he spoke boldly, and it all fulfilled the will of the Heavenly Father. So much so that we're reading about it today.
Yep, that's it.
You got it.
That's right. Man, that's pretty much it. Let's jump into this 22. Acts 22.
All right, I'm gonna share my screen.
God.
Acts 22. All right, here we go. You got it.
You still ain't got to share it out.
Huh?
It's still not shared. No,
it must be. Oh shit.
Damn. Yeah.
All right, hold up.
Okay, there we go.
All right.
Yep. This is Acts 22:1. Men, brethren, and fathers, hear ye my defense, which I make now unto you. And when they heard that he spake in the Hebrew tongue, to them that kept the more silence, and he saith, I am verily a man which am a Jew, born in Tarsus, a city in Cilicia, yet brought up in this city at the feet of Gamaliel, and taught according to the perfect manner of the law of the fathers, and was zealous toward the Most High, as ye all are this day. And I persecuted this way unto the death, binding and delivering into prison both men and women. As also
now think about that. I would say you see brothers out on the highways and byways that'll go into the story of how they came into the truth and what we were doing before. You know what I'm saying? And the things that the Lord delivered us from, man. And the Lord can deliver you from anything, man.
Right.
You see, when you think about that, bro, Paul was killing people that follow Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying? You got people that had grown up. You had Gentiles that had grown up in them Greekish fashions, man. They was homosexuals, man. They was doing all kind of stuff, man. You see, cutthroats and robbers and killers and all these different things that you see today. Nothing new under the sun.
Yep.
Nothing new under the sun, man. But this word changed everything for him, man. You see, and Paul is telling you how it changed for him.
Yep.
Like, bro, when you go into Acts chapter 9, Ananias and the rest of the disciples was like, bro, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
Like he had chased some of them personally.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he telling you, he was like, bro, I was out there bad. But Yahweh Shai had another plan for me. And if y'all think y'all gonna take that away from me, you got another thing coming, man. You see?
Yep.
Y'all want to kill me for telling the truth. You got it.
That's why that's why the angel told him that Ananias that he was a chosen vessel. I'm gonna read it real quick. Acts 9:13. Then Ananias answered, Lord, I have heard by many of this man how much evil hath done to thy saints at Jerusalem. And here he hath authority from the chief priest to bind all that call on thy name. But the Lord said unto him, Go thy way, for he is a chosen vessel unto me, to bear my name before the Gentiles and kings and the children of Israel.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, I know exactly who you talking about. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Watch me work this miracle.
Right.
Watch me work this. He's a chosen vessel for my will. So, like I said, you gonna handle that for me.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And then the Lord proved to Ananias that that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? When he pulled the scales off his eyes, you know what I'm saying? He pretty much nursed Paul back to health.
Yep.
He saw the transition of Saul to Paul.
Yep.
He was right there. He was right there to witness it. The Lord said, he's a chosen vessel. I got this. Don't worry about it. Right. You see? And then he showed his power in that transition to Ananias. So Ananias was sold. He was like, oh shit, what you want me to do? God. You see? When the disciples was looking at him crazy, he was like, bruh, he the truth. You know what I'm saying? The Lord came to me. I seen him. Yep. I seen him. This is not Saul you looking at right now. You are looking at Paul. Yep. This is not the same guy, bro. I know it looked like the same guy, but this spirit has been completely washed. You know? Go ahead.
Right. It says verse 16, for I will shew him how great things he must suffer for my name's sake.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't worry about what his past is. I worry about that. I'm gonna show him. I'm gonna show him what it's like to suffer for my name's sake. Right. You know what I'm saying? And did not Paul suffer for his name's sake?
Yep.
I mean, we up to chapter 22. We up to chapter 22 now.
Yep.
And he's giving his testimony of the importance of this truth, man.
Right.
And you can put yourself in these same shoes, man. You should be able to see yourself in this chapter. Go ahead.
That's right. All right, jumping back. Acts 22:4. And I persecuted this way unto the death, binding and delivering into prisons both men and women. Verse 5. As also the high priest doth bear me witness, and all the estate of the elders, from whom also I received letters from the brethren, and went to Damascus to bring them which were their bond unto Jerusalem, for to be punished. And it came to pass that I made my journey, and was come nigh unto Damascus about noon. Suddenly there shone from heaven a great light round about me, and I fell unto the ground, and heard a voice saying unto me, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? And I answered, Who art thou, Lord? And he said unto me, I am the Yahweh Shai of Nazareth, whom thou persecutest. And they that were with me saw indeed the light, and were afraid, but they heard not the voice of him that spake to me. And I said, What shall I do, Lord? And the Lord said unto me, Arise and go into Damascus, and there it came. I'm sorry, and there it shall be told thee of all things which are appointed for thee to do. And when I could not set for the glory of the light, being led by the hand of them that were with me, I came into Damascus. And one Ananias, a devout man according to the law, having a good report of all the Jews which dwelt there, came unto me and stood and said unto me, Brother Saul, receive thy sight. And the same hour I looked up upon him. And he said, The power of our fathers have chosen thee, that thou shouldest know his will and see that just one.
All right, you see how I'll say you see how I'll say the Lord went to both of them and gave them the instructions.
Yep.
You see, that when the Lord wants something, He gets it.
Yep.
You see, He knew how the people was gonna respond to Saul. You see, Saul knew how the people was gonna respond to him. Ananias knew, but the Lord came to both of them and said, "Look, this is gonna happen." You see, and when the Lord comes to you, and you hearken to what He's saying, it's on from that point.
Yep.
You see, you got it.
It says, verse 14, and he said, The God of our fathers have chosen thee, that thou shouldest know his will, and see that just one, and shouldest hear the voice of his mouth. For thou shalt be his witness unto all men of what thou hast seen and heard.
I'm gonna get that word witness.
God. And we're witnesses of Yahweh Shema Shadnan today too, because we see and hear, we see and believe in these scriptures, man. That makes us a part of that witness, man. You know, we're proclaiming, and look at that witness.
Yeah, it's a one. Yeah, it's a 144 in there. Sure is.
You know, and the elect is the witnesses, man. The 144. You know, I'm gonna get something on that witness too, real quick. Let me see.
No, donate. What the fuck, man?
Try to get in the blue letter.
Yeah. No, I don't want to donate to you hoes.
Let me see if I can get it. Acts 22. What verse was that?
Uh,
14. 15.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Let me see.
Here we go.
Charles G. 3144. Marcus.
All right. Witness in a legal sense, in a historical sense, one who is a spectator of anything. Example given of a contest. In an ethical sense, those who after his example have proved the strength and genuineness of their faith in Hamashiach by undergoing a violent death.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Paul did that. The disciples did that. The Lord Himself did that. Okay?
God.
A witness says that He was witness unto all men of what has seen and heard. All right? So you got to get that in your head.
Mm-hmm.
You see, Yahshua always say that, man. What could the apostles have seen to make them volunteer for them violent deaths? And you see, they saw the miracles, they saw the love that the Lord showed, they saw every human aspect of it.
God.
You see, they saw every human aspect of it, man.
God.
And then they saw Him resurrect. They saw the transfiguration. They saw Him resurrect. You see what I'm saying? He came back and ate with them and supped with them, man. After He had been crucified.
Yep.
You see? And after you see something like that, can't nobody tell you didn't.
I said that earlier. That's the spirit.
All right, you got to go ahead.
God, yeah, let me get that to what you just said. How they who all came and seen them. we were just speaking about it. Let me get 1 Corinthians 15, Acts 10 and 39 real quick. This is Acts 10 and 39. This is Acts 10 and 39. It says, and we are witnesses of all things which he did, both in the land of the Jews and in Jerusalem, whom they slew and hanged on a tree. Him the Most High raised up the third day and shewed him openly, not to all the people, but unto witnesses chosen before of the Most High. Even
look up the word. Look up the word witness. Look up the word witness right there. See if we get the same thing.
God.
I'm pretty sure we will, but yeah, why not? What you gonna do? Go watch the NBA playoffs? Them hoes fixed. I don't know who gonna win, but them hoes fixed. Deal with it.
Same word, witnesses.
Okay,
martyrs. Yep.
That's what's up.
Yep. So it says, verse 41, this is Acts 10 and 41, it says, not to all the people, but unto witnesses chosen before the Most High, even to us, who did eat and drink with him after he rose from the dead.
It said witnesses, martyrs that were chosen. Martyrs that were chosen.
Mm-hmm.
He made sure they seen Yahushua so that their witness would be true.
Yep.
You see?
Right.
You got it.
Who did eat and drink with him after he rose from the dead, and he commanded us to preach unto the people and to testify that it is he which was ordained of the Most High to be the judge of a quick and dead. To him give all the prophets witness that through his name whosoever believeth in him shall receive remission of sins. Well, yeah, man, that's the point. Hey, Yahushua, he showed himself into those select chosen few people. Okay, and then after all of those men was seen Yahushua, okay, and then after that Paul did, man. And this is why Jake goes so hard right now for Yahushua, man, because they actually witnessed Yahushua's resurrection, man. They actually sat with him, they actually supped with him, okay. And this is what was going on with Paul, man. Because it said, I'm gonna go back real quick, Acts 22, and what did it say? It said, I'm gonna start from 14. And he said, the power of our fathers have chosen thee, that thou shouldest know his will and see that just one, and shouldest hear the voice of his mouth. For thou shalt be his witness unto all men of what thou hast seen and heard. Okay, so those men that was back at that time, they seen Yahushua, they heard Yahushua, and we are those same men now today that has that same spirit, that same drive to keep on pushing for Yahushua, man. The same spirit coming back again. Okay, let me see. Okay, let's sit on that. Real quick. Okay, that's it. I ain't got to go too deep into it. I ain't gonna go too deep.
I'm gonna say we got some comment board action, brother Mathathia. Got Luke 1:1. It says, for as much as many have taken in hand to set forth in order a declaration of those things which are most surely believed among us, even as they delivered them unto us, which from the beginning were eyewitnesses and ministers of the word. It seemed good to me also, having had perfect understanding of all things from the very first, to write unto you the in order, most excellent Theophilus, man. You see?
Right.
It's going into those witnesses, man, and the importance of it, man. You see? And Paul saying he is one of those witnesses. You see? Because he saw the same things that the disciples saw. You see, he saw the same thing that the other prophets saw. He saw the things that he was reading about in the scrolls. He's living out the prophecies in his time. Yep. You see, you got it.
Yeah, Yahushua directly supped with with Paul, man. When he was in a situation, Yahweh Shai tell him, fret not. You know, he had tell him, hey, you're gonna do this. You're gonna. Hey, the Lord was actually coaching him throughout his ministry, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So let me keep going. Unless you got another precept.
You can go back to Acts.
All right. Okay, verse 16. This is Acts 22:16. And now why tarriest thou? Arise and be baptized and wash away thy sins, calling on the name of the Lord, man. See, that's the name. The name Yahweh Shai is the name that's gonna get us up out of this situation, man. Okay, and that's one thing that you're gonna understand about being a part of that witness. Okay, being a part of that witness, you have to confess that name. Okay, what Paul did. Okay, it says, and it came to pass that when I was come again to Jerusalem, even while I prayed in the temple, I was in a trance, and saw him saying unto me, make haste and get thee quickly out of Jerusalem, for they will not receive thy testimony concerning me.
Let's get this. I'm gonna get this word trance. You can make your point, but I'm gonna get this word trance.
No, the point is Yahweh Shai was dealing with him. You know, who everybody didn't think that the Lord was dealing with. That's who Yahweh Shai was dealing with, and that trip was on down to now. You know, you got it.
All right. Any casting down of a thing from its proper place or state, displacement, a throwing of the mind out of its normal state, alienation of the mind, right? He's in a trance, right? It says a throwing of the mind out of its normal state. See, the Lord has taken over and he's putting what needs to be put in this man's head, right? Alienation from the mind. It says, whether such as makes a lunatic or that of a man who by some sudden emotion is transported as it were out of himself, right? Because when the Lord is dealing with you, it's on a whole nother aspect. You see, it says, so that in this rapt condition, although he is awake, his mind is drawn off from all surrounding objects and wholly fixed on things divine, that he sees nothing but the forms and images lying within, and thinks that he perceives with his bodily eyes and ears reality shown to him by the Most High. That is heavy.
That's a heavy breakdown.
That is heavy, bro. But that's what happens when you in the spirit. You see, bro. You ever notice that when you get through speaking on the highways and the byways, or after you get through teaching, you be tired.
Yep, exhausted.
That's because the spirit has left you at that point.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? The Lord said what he needed to say to you, say through you, and he's moving on, right?
Yep.
It says amazement, the state of one who, either owing to the importance of the novelty of an event, is thrown into a state of blended fear and wonderment. So the definition we're looking for is this one right here. That's heavy, man. That is heavy. Yeah, I'm gonna read it one more time all the way through. It says a throwing of the mind out of its normal state, alienation from the mind, whether such as makes a lunatic or that right. So the Lord can bug you out. He can jump in your mind and bug you out.
Yep.
Right. It says, or that of a man who by some sudden emotion is transported as it were out of himself, so that in this rapt condition, although he is awake, his mind is drawn off from all surrounding objects and wholly fixed on the things divine, that he sees nothing but the forms of the images lying within, and thinks that he perceives with his bodily eyes and ears reality shown by Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Man, that is heavy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. So he was in a trance. And the Lord was just that's supping. The Lord supped with him. Gave him all of his instructions. You know,
and that's what I'm saying. And it ain't no way that could take place, and that you're gonna present the wrong message unless the Lord wants you to. You see, if the Lord wants you to present the wrong message, that's what you're gonna do. We got proof of that in the scriptures. If he wants you to tell the truth, we got proof of that. But the Lord is controlling both sides, man. Like it or not. You got it.
That's right. It says,
Verse 18.
Yep, verse 18, Kankan. It says, and saw him saying unto me, make haste and get thee quickly out of Jerusalem. To mention, Paul said he's seen him. He's seen the Lord. You know, I remember a couple of years ago, people was they doing it now, scoffing how Paul never seen the Lord, how Paul isn't a man of the Lord, how Paul contradicts what Yahweh was doing, which is all wrong. This is clear as day as he's actually dealing with him on a one-on-one.
Right.
This is a one-on-one conversation. You know. It says, and saw him saying unto me, make haste and get thee quickly out of Jerusalem, for they will not receive thy testimony concerning me. And I said, Lord, they know that I imprisoned and beat in every synagogue them that believed on thee. And when the blood of thy martyr Stephen was shed, I also was standing by, and consenting unto his death, and kept the raiment of them that slew him. And he said unto me, depart, for I will send thee far hence unto the Gentiles.
And that's what I'm saying. You see how Paul gave his testimony to the Lord. He was like, Lord, they know they know me. They know who I was. They know what I was doing. You say, I'm gonna send you out. You know what? I send you out. I was like, because he already had the disciples who later became apostles to deal with the circumcision. So he said, to protect Paul, he sent them away.
Yep.
Same thing he did with us. To protect us, he sent us away. Even when he had to protect us from ourselves, the answer was to send us away. Get your asses out of Jerusalem. You know what I'm saying? He constantly sent us away. You know, as a nation and as the of the elect. The two birds were sent away and the elect was sent away. We are a nation that was sent away. Go ahead.
And they gave him audience unto this word, and then lifted up their voice and said, away with such a fellow from the earth, for it is not fit that he should live.
That's what I'm saying. What crucify him. Yep. Let his blood be on our children. They wanted him out of there just like they wanted the Lord out of there. Because you remember, he was accused of the same things that the Lord was accused of.
Same things, yep.
You see? So he was getting the exact same result. We've been talking about during the time. I was like, bro, when you read about Yahweh, you read about Paul, and you see the similarities, that's what lets you know that the Lord was dealing with Paul the way he was. Because he was going through the same things.
Yep.
Paul told him, he was like, look, they ain't gonna listen to you. I'm telling you now. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna listen. So I'm letting you know that they're not gonna listen, but I'm still telling you gotta teach. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send you out. We got the circumcision covered. We need to get the circumcision covered because my father said that he wants to breach. He wants to breach the gap. He wants to bridge the gap between Israel, and this is how we gonna do it.
Yep.
And Paul said, "Come out of one," just like the disciples did. Right. And through that union, we was all able to be married back together, man. Yep. You got it.
That's it. And they gave him audience unto this word, and then lifted up their voices and said, away with such a fellow from the earth, for it is not fit that he should live. And as they cried out and cast off their clothes and threw dust into the air, the chief captain commanded him to be brought unto the castle and bade that he should be examined by scourging, which is by beating. So they was going to whip him. Trying to whip him. It says, that he might know wherefore they cried so against him. And as they bound him with thongs, Paul said unto the centurion that stood by, is it lawful for you to scourge a man that is a Roman?
I was saying, keep in mind. Paul is living this out. All these things are happening.
Yep.
You see? And every time, I was saying, the worse the situation got, the Lord just kept feeding him and feeding him and feeding him. You see? It said they was Paul said he gave his testimony. You know what I'm saying? He gave his testimony. He spoke to him in Hebrew. He did. They still wouldn't let up. And then the centurion, he got to the point where he was like, well, bro, what the fuck they so hot about it? He tried to explain it to him. He done explained it in Greek. He done,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And it just keep on getting worse.
Yeah.
Paul, his faith never wavered, not once.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? So now he's speaking to the centurion. The centurion like, well, look, I'm just gonna do my job. If I got to beat you just to get these niggas to shut the fuck up, then that's what I'm gonna have to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then Paul was like, well, hold on, nigga, I'm a Roman. You can't just be beating on no Roman. That was another idea that was planted.
Yep.
You see? So it's letting you know how the Lord will deal with you through these situations. Man, if you keep showing the Lord that, okay, everything he put in your head, when you do it, okay, I'll do it. Okay, come. And you keep on doing it, next thing you know, you out of the situation. You see? But when you waver and doubt and do all that shit, it's off with your head.
Yep.
All right, go ahead.
Right. It says, the chief captain commanded him to be brought into the castle and bade. Okay, I read that. Verse 25. And as they bound him with thongs, Paul said unto the centurion that stood by, is it lawful for you to scourge a man that is a Roman and uncondemned? When the centurion heard that, he went and told the chief captain, saying, take heed what thou doest, for this man is a Roman. Then the chief captain came and said unto him, tell me, art thou a Roman? He said, yea. And the chief captain answered with a great sum. And the chief captain answered, with a great sum obtained I this freedom. And Paul said, but I was freeborn. Then straightway they departed from him, which should have examined him. And the chief captain also was afraid after he knew that he was a Roman, and because he had bound him, right? Because they were supposed to go by the Roman law. If you're a Roman citizen or if you're a Roman, you go by the Roman law. So he played the law on them. Okay. On the morrow, because he would have known the certainty wherefore he was accused of the Jews, he loosed him from his bands and commanded the chief priests and all their council to appear, and brought Paul down and sent him before them.
Watch this. I gotta hold up. Matter of fact, let me pull up another blue letter real quick. All right. Say, Lord say when man's ways pleases the Lord, he causes his enemies to be at peace with him.
That's right.
I'm gonna get that real quick.
Let me get.
Matter of fact, can somebody put it on the comment board? My computer going slow in the mug. Yeah, just type in enemies peace. All right.
Let's see. Is it enemies or enemy?
Okay, I got it. It's Proverbs 16:7. It says, when a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. Right. And Paul was surrounded by enemies, and they was going hard in the mug. But the Lord saying, I'm gonna put the words in your mouth. Don't worry about what you're gonna say. The Lord's put the words in his mouth. Paul spoke them, and that was it. That's how it worked. You see, Paul didn't never say not one time, well, what about this, Lord? Well, look how many of them it is, Lord. Well, they screaming, Lord. Not about to, no. Everything the Lord put in his mouth, he spoke it.
Yep.
Paul was outside of his body. We just read the definition.
Yeah.
For what was the word for trance?
Trance. Yep.
In the word for trance, it said that he was outside of his body and the divinity had taken over.
Yep.
Oh man, bro. Man.
Right. I got a precept real quick.
Go ahead, bro.
Like you said, man, perfect love casteth out fear, man. So, hey, if you have that perfect love for Yahweh Shema Shai, all that fear of what the world and what man can do to you, that shit is out the window, man. Paul had perfect love. That's in 1 John, you know.
That's right.
Real quick, this is Jeremiah. This is from Mathathia, Jeremiah 15:11. It says, the Lord Yahweh said, verily, it shall be well with thy remnant. Verily, I will cause the enemy to entreat thee well in the time of evil and in the time of affliction. Man.
Yes, sir.
God.
Mathathia for 3.
That's for the
And,
fear.
and he got fouled and still made it. Yeah, and he got fouled and still made it.
That's half court. I got one real quick. I may mention the perfect love. I might as well get it. This is 1 John 4 and I'm gonna start from 17. Wherein is our love made perfect, that we may have boldness in the day of judgment, because as he is, so are we in this world. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casteth out fear, because fear has torment. He that feareth is not made perfect in love. We love him because he first loved us. If a man say, I love the Most High, and hateth his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother whom he has seen, how can he love the Most High whom he have not seen? All right, and the point was about having that perfect love, man. That perfect love is going to cast out all that fear. And if we have fear for Yahweh, if we have love for Yahweh Shem Shai in this ministry and what we're doing, all that fear is going to go out the window. We're not going to even think about that. You see, like the scripture says, fear him, don't fear who can roughly paraphrasing, don't fear man who can touch the body or something like that. But
fear not them that can kill the body.
Yeah, kind of. Let me get it. I don't want to mess it up like that.
Yeah.
Let me see.
I feel like just type in kill the body.
Yep.
Got it.
Yep, this is Matthew 10 and 28. And fear not them which slop.
I said you get the one in Matthew, I get the one in Luke.
Matthew 10 and 28. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. You know, so with that understanding, man, you can understand and see why the apostles of that time and the men of Yahweh Shem Shai, beginning our apostle this time, is going so hard for Yahweh Shem Shai, because we ain't supposed to fear that. We have eternal life after this. Okay, this ain't the end all be all. You know, this ain't where the story stops. You know, this keeps going, man. We have everlasting life after this. You know, but you got it, bro.
Come on. This is Luke 12 and 4. It says, and I say unto you, my friends, be not afraid of them that kill the body, and after that have no more that they can do. Don't worry about these people, man. Don't worry about what they got coming, man. You see, Paul took on that. Paul took on that moniker. He took on that persona. You see, it don't matter. You see, all the stuff that I did to persecute the church and all these different things, the Lord using me now, I'm gonna fight hard. You see, and if I got to lay down my life like he did, I was saying, because Paul said that. For I wished that I could be accursed. You know what I'm saying? I wish it could have been me instead of the Lord.
Yep.
You see? Yep. Where you think he got that from? Where you think he got that? Where you think he got that mentality from?
How shot?
You see?
Finish his course. You know?
You got it.
I got some real quick. This is Acts 21 and 13. Then Paul answered, What mean ye to weep and to break mine heart? For I am ready not to be bound only, but also to die at Jerusalem for the name of the Lord Yahushua. You see how it's always talking about dying for the name or doing something for the name's sake, for the word for the name of Yahushua, man. And here it is, you got guys that's trying to take out the name, you know, trying to say that the name is a title and things like that, or not confessing the name at all. But here it is throughout the scriptures, and especially in the gospel, the main objective was dying for the name, confessing that name into the world. If we confess Yahushua to men, guess what? Yahushua is going to confess us to the Father. You know? So that's pretty much it, bro. That's the ending of 22. You know, it was pretty quick, 54 minutes in. So we can jump and get that next chapter maybe tomorrow.
We read the last verse?
Yep. I read it all. Yep.
Oh, okay, Con.
Con.
Hey, that's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. Lord willing, that was edifying. You can go ahead and take us home.
Con. Well, hey, well, like you finna say, Lord willing, this was edifying to the body, to those that really believe in Yahweh Shemel Shah and have the name and is confessing the name. Okay. What we see here when we just read about the story is the beginning of us getting into the truth, understanding what our mission is, and going forward pledge with it. And this is what Paul did, being a perfect example. Okay. This right here is showing that Paul was standing stiffly for the name of Yahweh Shemel Shah. That's the second chapter says. You know?
Oh man, look, bro. Paul strove for the truth unto death twice in the same body, man.
Yep.
When he got stoned and his spirit left his body, you can read about that in what's that 2 Corinthians? Is it 1 Corinthians or second? It's chapter 12, whichever one.
2 Corinthians, I think.
2 Corinthians chapter 12. Paul speaks on going up to the spirit world as a result. That was a result of him getting stoned. And it talks about his body, his spirit went back into that body. Yeah, his spirit went back into that body, and he got up and went to go preach.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he died, when he was after he had run his race and fought the good fight, he was beheaded.
Mm-hmm.
His spirit left his body twice, and both times he was preaching the gospel, hard body.
Stood so stiffly for the name. That's a
see yourself in those shoes, man. We can see ourselves in those shoes.
That's right.
Through the spirit.
Yep.
You got it.
Right. Yep. Hey, if it befalls to go that route, then so be it. You know. But with that, we'd like to give all going on in praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Chakadash, the one that's our apostles, the great millstone. Salutations to the icon on the four corners, pushing his truth and sincerity. All right, love, diligence, respect, fear, and trembling. A Baba Ball.
Shalom.